So you're looking to make this year your best year ever. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 steps that you can take to make those resolutions stick. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is to understand that a lot of times when we come into a new year, there may be a lot of change. There may even be a lot of baggage we are bringing in from years past. But we have to understand that to be able to make a change that we want that will actually stick, we need to focus on one single change. And as bad as that may sound, as many things as we may want to change in our lives, I want you to dedicate the next 6 months to one particular thing. Actually write down a list of those things that you want and prioritize that list, and then dwindle it down to that one thing that you really think can make a dramatic impact on your life this year. Now, in step 1, we have dwindled our list down to the one thing that we see as priority for this year. Now, that one thing, how many different flavors of that one thing do you particularly have? Is that one thing a health thing that you want to change in your life? Perhaps you just want to start eating healthier, or perhaps you actually just want to start exercising more. Break it down to the different flavors. If it's different kinds of exercises that you want to do you want to start weight training? Do you want to start running? Do you just want to start some particular sport this year? Pick something specific. Look at all the different varieties in that one category and pick something very specific that you can start doing this year, that you can dedicate yourself for the next 6 months. Now, here in step 3, that we have refined our process. We know what our goal is for the next 6 months. We know exactly what kind of flavor we're dealing with. Where do we go from here? From here, we need to realize what our daily task will be. Perhaps you want to start weight training. How many days a week are you looking at weight training? Are you looking at working 3 to 4 days a week, or perhaps even 5 to 6 days a week? We ultimately want to know how many days. We want to pinpoint exactly what days a week we need to dedicate. We need to know what days during that week we have time for this task. Maybe it's a task that we can execute every single day. We need to make sure that we are executing every single day. We need to make sure that we have our calendar out, and when you execute on that particular task for that goal, that you mark that down on that calendar day. This is extremely important because what we want to do is see progress. And if you are marking it down on a calendar, you are at least seeing your consistency throughout this 6-month period. So again, you want to audit your week, see where you need to dedicate that time, and allot that time, and make sure that you are executing your daily task on that given day. Now, you may need to actually schedule in a little bit of leeway because life does happen and you want to be able to accommodate for that. Now, here in step 4, what we want to do is we always want to have a feedback loop because it's extremely important. A continuous feedback loop will help us understand where we need to actually tweak some things and improve perhaps our efficiency, perhaps different things that will help us lead up to success to execute that daily task. Maybe if you are trying to get healthier and so you start walking 5 days a week, on those particular days that you have scheduled to walk, you need to make sure that your clothes are laid out the night before, so that way you are setting yourself up for success. And so in doing so, every night when you are done, you need to look back and see where you can be more efficient on that particular task, and allow yourself again to set that environment up, because if you can set your environment up for success, you can really be able to execute these daily objectives more fluidly and more efficiently, and you're not procrastinating on these things. So if you have that daily feedback, you can look at and see, well, what triggers threw me off from executing that thing? Perhaps you were stuck in traffic. Well, what is something else that you can fix in that particular issue. Maybe you can leave to work a little bit earlier, and that way you can get off a little bit earlier, be able to have a little bit more time so you can execute and make sure that task is done correctly. Yes, this may require that you have to sacrifice some beauty sleep, or it's perhaps just adjusting your schedule. This is why that daily feedback loop is extremely important, because you want to look for deficiencies in your day and triggers that you can help change and make sure that you are able to fix them and continue to work on them. Make sure you are fixing them and correcting them the next day. And then this way you are establishing a solid foundation, a very effective and fluent environment and efficiencies that will help make sure that you are on your task, on your daily task, to start progressing towards that 6-month goal. Now in step 5 here, we need to realize that we want to come into this particular goal or task and realize that this is going to be a lifestyle change. You want to come into it with that mentality. You don't want to look at this as, for the next 6 months, I'm dedicating myself to this, and then realize that after 3 months, you're okay and you're just going to drop off. You want to have the mindset that this is going to be a forever change, that you can no longer go back to your old routine, that this is something that is going to stay in your life forever, and continuously approach this in that fashion and realize that no matter what happens for the next 6 months, you will be dedicated to executing this one thing, this ideal thing that you have refined on a daily basis. And last but not least, in step 6, this is one of the most crucial steps of them all, and that's to understand that you will have bad days, you will have off days, you will have failures, you will not meet that daily objective, and this is what's going to keep you on track, is to not beat yourself down for falling off track. Perhaps you were delayed throughout your day and ended up pushing that thing off so badly that you couldn't execute it. You ended up not getting home until probably at 10, 11 at night. Maybe there was something that just completely threw your day off. That's okay. If it was your day to execute on that particular task and the next day was your day off, just rotate the days and realize that that day off will now be a day that you execute on that daily objective. Just make sure that no matter what happens, every day is a new day to restart on that objective. Don't get lost and off track. Just correct it on the next given day. We all have bad days. It does happen, and it will happen. It is guaranteed to happen. But again, don't let yourself get carried away. Just say, okay, I messed up. If it's something like a diet, do not beat yourself down. You made a mistake. You ate something perhaps that you weren't supposed to. Maybe you were only supposed to have one cheat meal a week and you had something on an off day. That is okay. Just again, move that day, that normal day that would have been your cheat day, to today, and just reset that button again tomorrow and continue to be fluid. Do not beat yourself down. You have to realize that these things happen. They continue to happen. They will happen. And just as long as you are giving yourself that leeway, knowing that tomorrow I'm going to recorrect it, and make sure that you follow through on that and not continue just to allow that old process, that old routine to just sink back in and take over this goal that you are trying to achieve for this year, to make this year the best year possible. So in closing summary, we have 6 steps that will help you change this year, impact new change into your life. These steps are very efficient. You have to continue to push through. You realize that you're going to have down days. You realize that you're only focusing on one thing. You're going to find what that one thing is, and you're going to make sure that you have that daily feedback and that daily objective that you're going to knock out no matter what. And again, you will not beat yourself up. You know that you can switch days around. You can adjust when you need to, but that this year will be the best year ever. And so remember to hit the like button on the way out. And until next time, I will see you guys later.